Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Tiffany, and my husband and I are the owners of Creative Designs by Tiffany, a flower shop and event space located in upstate New York. While we'll continue to talk about the original flowers and floral arranging, we're expanding to talk about everything I love and nothing that I don't. Thanks for giving us a listen. And we are coming from the My Little Falls studio at 62 degrees when I came in, which
I know.
is amazing for the middle of February if you're from upstate New York.
It's
I
called
can't
it's called
believe it.
fake summer, right?
Not even summer. I don't even know what this is. Is it spring? Is it summer? Like my tulips are starting to pop. I don't know what's
That's a
going on.
mistake because they're
not
gonna
good.
get killed here.
Yeah, it's not good. Well, don't say that. I'm trying to get through Valentine's Day and hope that I don't have to wrap all the flowers and send them out in the cold. So this would be like the ideal.
I'm sorry, but the
temperature.
high tomorrow is 39.
I heard that. I
Yeah.
heard that too.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But anyway, we're thinking spring. So
Yes.
talking about that, we're thinking spring. So I have a very special guest with me today, along with Dave, who you just heard, Dave Warner, producer extraordinaire, co-host even. I'll give you a co-host.
Yeah.
almost there too. Yeah. And we have, like I said, a very important and special guest here today with us. So Jimmy Joyce from, I don't even know what to call you now because you're kind of making your own path, but anybody who's listening that would know me, Diamond Dogs affiliation, right? So he played for the Diamond Dogs here. What years was that? 21, 20, 21 maybe?
Yeah, I think it was 19 and 21.
Okay, cool. So Jimmy Joyce has now been asked to be in spring training for the Mariners too, which thank you for taking time today to talk to us. So it's a very exciting time. I think you're the latest Diamond Dog post too from one of the alumni doing very exciting things. So congratulations on that. Anyway, wanted to have you on to have a conversation. And disclaimer, I did ask Jimmy before any of this stuff came out. I knew he was like working his way through the MLB, but I wanted to kind of talk to him about that because he's in it, but didn't realize this would be like perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Well, spring training, when does it start for you, Jimmy? Next week?
Yeah, the official report day is the 14th, but I've been out here a while.
Okay, cool. So where is out here now? So that's in Arizona?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm in Peoria, Arizona.
Okay, awesome. So the exciting thing with you, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were playing for the Diamond Dogs when you were officially drafted, right? That was the same year.
Yeah.
So really,
He got yanked off the field in the middle of a game, right? Didn't you?
I thought so because fun story with Jimmy. So over the years, I had worked for the Diamond Dogs. Jimmy actually wasn't there when I was working for the team, I don't believe. So I had told Travis I was doing these pop-up portraits with Dave up at the store. And I needed 3 Diamond Dog players because I had pumped it that there were going to be Diamond Dogs there to, shake hands and sign autographs. And so Jimmy was one of the lucky 3 guys that got to come up. It was Jimmy, Sale, and Keegan.
Minus the beard.
Yes, minus the beard. So, and that I believe was the same year that you got your official call from the MLB, right? So, it was very, very exciting. That autograph, if you got him from the store, probably will be worth something now, I would think.
I got it from him out there on the field before he went off.
Yeah. So,
it was great.
So it's very exciting. So that's exciting to see that it happened while you were here too. So anybody who hasn't kind of followed you, what's been going on since 21 till 24 now? You kind of had a stint and stuff. So go ahead and kind of tell us where you went from here. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's been a long 3 years so far. I'm just trying to navigate my way through pro ball. First couple years weren't the easiest, especially being 3,000 miles away. I think the first affiliate I went to was in Everett, Washington, and as you know, I'm from Long Island, so it's quite
opposite,
like 2 opposite sides.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of cultural shock. It just me on my own for the first time. I didn't really know anyone, so I went through some tough times there, but I wouldn't change a thing. I'm here where I am, and I feel good about where I am.
That's awesome.
I'm just taking it day by day, just trying to get through.
Yeah, cool. So now I think I had asked you like maybe December-ish or something too, and you were on the East Coast, right? So does that mean you were home and you go back and forth, or have you been on the West Coast since 21 or 20?
I've gotten to go home a few times, but max like 2 weeks. I think I got 2 weeks for Christmas. I was rehabbing out at the facility and out here in Arizona all off season. A different year, I would be home a little longer, but things just haven't lined up, and I've been out here for a while now.
Well, that's pretty cool. It's different probably than out this way, or West Coast to East Coast, or even?
Yeah, it's, well, I remember when I first got to pro ball, I would say that Washington and New York are complete opposites, like in everything they do.
That's amazing.
Do you have a specific example, like big difference, the biggest thing that jumps out at you?
The biggest thing is the food, but the second biggest thing is just the people are so different, like polar opposites, you know?
That's too funny. Well, I think Luby was from Oregon. So
Yeah.
is he kind of like, was he kind of a taste of it, or were you like, this is way beyond even Coach Luby?
Yeah, well, Luby's his own.
That is true. We love Coach Luby. So that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, well, walk us back for a second too, for anybody who hasn't like known your connection with the Diamond Dogs. So originally you came on our team. And I think it was kind of because you had a coach that was our coach, right? It was Blake Nation that brought you up. So tell us kind of your playing career kind of with him, your highlights and stuff. And he's kind of working his way up with you. I haven't kept track, but he's in the Mariners organization right now, I believe, right? Or
Brewers.
Brewers. Okay. So so how did that kind of start with Blake as your coach and then coming up here to New York? Well, upstate New York.
I don't remember too clearly, but I remember there was a time where he had said, you know, would you be interested in going to this league? Whatever. But he said he wouldn't send me there unless I stayed with the Nellises because he had known them, and I guess he really thought it was the right spot for me, which looking back, it 100% was. I wouldn't change a thing.
That's awesome. Shout out to Mrs. Nellis then, and Mr. and Mrs. Nellis now. But yes, awesome.
Yep, I love them. Of course, you guys know that. But he recommended the league, and I came up here, and I remember the first day I got up here, I was like, oh, I don't know if I could do this. Just
even upstate from Long Island is different, right?
Yeah, it was still a cultural shock because I pulled up to the farm and I'm like, oh my God, like I've never seen anything like this. And the fact that I was going to be living there for the next few months was like it was overwhelming at one point, but obviously things couldn't have gone more perfect when I was there. Awesome. But so I got there, basically it all went smooth the first season, and then I had a chance to go to the NECBL the year I got drafted, and I'm pretty sure I told him that I want to go back to the Perfect Game League and live with the Nellises again.
Awesome.
And I was probably, at the time, I didn't know if that was the right choice or not, because I was thinking about my baseball career and just where I can get more looks and just try to be where I want. And so I decided, and then, things just worked out the way they did.
That's awesome.
Did you ever think at that point, when you pulled up to the Nellis farm, there's a lot of guys who turned around and did leave and didn't stay? I mean, what caused you to stay? Because they've had turnarounds.
Yeah, they have. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't even know if Mrs. Nellis knows this. When we pulled up to the farm, it was me and my mom. She was dropping me off, and I was like, just keep going. Like, because I was not ready for it. So we drove like all the way down Nellis Road. We drove to the end. I gathered my thoughts, like my breath, and I was like, all right, let's do this. But there was it was very close for me to keep going.
Was it just the wide open spaces or the cows that you saw, or what it looked too raw to you, or?
Yeah, it was like nothing I'd ever seen before.
Not Long Island.
I grew up in the suburbs, like I get to the farm, there's 200 cows, and I'm just like, what's going on?
That's awesome.
No one told me any of this.
Geez, that's funny.
So suffice to say, you don't have any cows in Arizona where you're at now, or
no, not on me.
That probably got your composure though, for like being here and playing through as you're pitching. You have to just take a breath, walk away, and then all right, we can do this. So that's pretty neat. So on the Nellis Nellis's, I didn't know those conversations. They're just always conversations. I never have a playbook with it, but I think I want to say, did you guys get some tattoos for the Nellis farm, or a couple of you guys?
Yeah.
That's the lasting
Yeah.
impact they had, huh?
Definitely. Me and Keegan. I still
Yep.
talk to Keegan every day.
Awesome.
We FaceTime every day.
That's amazing.
Same with
Yep.
the Nellises. I try to call Mrs. Nellis as much as possible,
Oh, how
but
sweet.
the farm holds a big spot in not only mine but a lot of other players' hearts, and the things that we experience, just they're things that I'll never forget. So me and Keegan decided to get a little tattoo in honor of the farm and the Nellises.
That's
what
cool.
I thought. That is pretty cool.
I hadn't heard that story.
Yeah.
I'll have to jump Keegan on that one.
Right? That's pretty cool. Keegan's over here now, right? He's in Herkimer, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. So that's awesome. Yeah. So back to you then, I guess. So now that you're in Arizona, so what does spring training kind of look like for you? Walk us kind of through that. So.
Yeah, just I'm getting to the facility early on, doing my normal baseball stuff. It's nothing crazy, but because the games haven't started yet, once the games pick up, and I'll learn a little more. This is my first time on the big league side of things, so I'm just gonna be here to be a sponge and take it all in and stay up there as long as I can.
That's awesome.
And learn. In the past, spring training on the minor league side, it's just really just preparation every day. There's nothing crazy or anything, but it is a lot of fun when you have every guy in the organization in one spot, and no one's separated by different affiliates, so you can you have a lot of guys.
That's awesome. Yeah. So is there somebody, I had listened to a podcast, I'm not even sure who had done it, that you had just done maybe a month and a half ago. So is there anybody that kind of has moved up with you, that you're kind of in the same spot, or has everybody kind of been at different levels with you?
Yeah, everyone's been a little different, but the one person that comes to my mind is my roommate, Peyton Alford, because he was my first pro ball roommate actually ever. And since then we've kind of been navigating together, and we seem to have followed each other to each affiliate. Like one of us, when we went to Everett, we both went together on the same flight, and then when we got moved up to Arkansas, we both went around the same time. So
crazy. So cool. So take us into this. This is a little different than what I've had a couple players that are past it now at this point. So they kind of tried the dream, didn't really pan out. They're in different areas of their life now. You're kind of still in it. So what is that travel like? So say when you came from the Diamond Dogs and you had to report, you were on a commercial flight. It wasn't any special airline or any commuter jet, whatever. You were it was you, right? Just going out there.
They sent a plane for him. Come on. He was that good. They sent a plane.
Right. So that reality, so what was it like? You just holding your breath, and it's cool, right?
Yeah, it's humbling. It's everything you've ever wanted. It is funny. You're just a normal person traveling on commercial planes. Nothing changes, even in AAA. I think they're still flying commercial.
Yep. That's crazy. So then, do you have to keep a job at the same time, or how does it work for you? Is this your job, or each year, or how do you go about it?
No, I just fully focus on baseball. It's kind of a year-round thing. Okay. I mean, I'll take 2 weeks off maybe right after the season, but other than that, it's we're training all year round. Just because we want to get where we want to get,
It's still work. That's awesome.
Is it very competitive with the people that are with you?
Yeah, it can get competitive. There's guys always fighting for the last spots on whatever team it may be, and everyone rightfully thinks it's their spot, and you have to tell them otherwise if you really want it,
Yeah.
But it's definitely competitive.
You still throwing 96, or have you upped it from that?
No, I'm still sitting around 92 to 96, anywhere in between then. Hopefully this year though, we'll bump it up a little bit more.
Okay, all right.
Very cool.
Just checking, because I remember you hitting 96 on the radar gun.
Well, I'm going to read the what Travis posted. So congrats to our former player, Jimmy Joyce, who has been invited to spring training with the Mariners. He is rated the 26th best, I think it's supposed to say prospect, in the Mariners organization. He is also listed as having the best caps locks curveball of all the prospects. Is that a good thing? As I'm reading that, that's probably pretty good for you, right?
I lost you.
Oh yeah. So
Read it again for me.
having the best curveball of all the prospects in the Mariners organization. That's probably pretty good, right?
I hope so.
That's pretty neat. So, how do you improve on that? How do you keep yourself as having the best?
It just comes down to never being satisfied and showing up every day. Like it's really hard. Don't get me wrong, to show up every day and continue to give it your all. And there's some days you're not going to want to do it, but if you can just get through those tough times, I just think it'll all work out for you. But as far as the curveball stuff, it's just consistency, practice. There's nothing else.
Yep. That's cool.
Is it what is a normal day like? Because are you playing actual games every day, or is it you just go out there and you work out and then you throw for some period of time? What's the day look like?
Yeah, so like right now, the games haven't started yet. Spring training hasn't officially begun. So we'll go in there, we'll, eat breakfast, get our training room stuff done, movement prep, stretch, throw, lift, condition, eat lunch, and then pretty much head out of there. But once the games start, it's going to be that, and then a game, and then you're out of there. So,
Long days.
Yeah, once the games start, they become a little bit longer, but it will be cool to be in the stadium and watch all these big leaguers play and just learn.
So they have you just observing, or are you actually going to get a chance to pitch?
I should get a chance to pitch. I'm kind of in between a rehab. I had a PRP shot in October, so I'm a little behind some of the guys when it comes to like build up for the mound. I only had my first bullpen yesterday, whereas a lot of the guys are like, 5 to 7, 8, 9 bullpens in. So I'm trying to catch up a little bit, but I do think I'll be ready for the games to at least throw like an inning or 2 or 3. And I'm hoping they give me the chance so I can.
Yeah, that's awesome. So then this is new to me. So how does that work exactly? So if you, pitch really well, you get approached, or they just place you after that?
I'm not really sure. That's kind of more on their side of things. I'm just going to go do what I can do at my best and let them make decisions.
That's awesome.
Because at the end of the day, if I tell them whatever, it won't matter.
So cool. So any family come out for spring training, or will they come and watch you at spring training, I guess I should say, or?
Yeah, my mom is actually coming out in mid-March, and hopefully she's coming to 2 of the games, and I'm just hoping it lines up where I can throw in one of them.
That's really cool.
You're sending the plane. You're sending the plane for her, right?
Yeah, the private jet.
Yeah, the private jet's coming for her.
No big deal. That's cool. Well, I mean, we've gone and saw down spring training in Florida, and so that's where I'm thinking that's where they mix in. You got the big leaguers, so to speak, with you training at the same time. So that's pretty neat. So anybody you kind of look up to that you're really excited to see?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of guys I look up to in the org, like guys like George Kirby. Just kind of he was a CAA guy as well. He won the first round, and I would like to follow after his footsteps because he's made a great impression on all of Major League Baseball, and I feel like if that's a chance, I want to go after it.
That's awesome. That is really cool. I bet you there's a lot of kids that look up to you now at this point too. So, sorry, I'm got to get closer here. I bet you there's quite a few kids that look up to you now. So how does that been like when you go home? Are friends, family,
yeah. I hope there are, because that's pretty much why I got into baseball. Well, not why I got into baseball, but what drove me as I was a kid. Like, I wanted to be the guy that gave the ball to the kid or signed the autograph, and it's kind of coming around full circle. We're not fully there yet, but I do see some influence like back home when, my dad, like this past off season, I was home for Christmas, and my dad asked me to come see his buddy's kids, and we went and we played catch, we talked with them, and it's so like refreshing to just see like the smile on a kid's face and like and know where he's coming from
Yeah.
because
Yeah, for
I
sure.
felt all the same things as those kids.
That's so cool. So I'll ask you that then. So what's your advice to a kid that wants to play even like for the Diamond Dogs one day, or wants to play in college ball, or even get to the minors and the majors? What do you think?
When I get asked this question, I usually say the same thing. I ultimately think it comes down to work, and if you're willing to do something every day as a kid, there's not there's not many options that leave you getting worse, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so I just think it comes down to just self-belief and hard work. Like, because that's from my experience. I always believed I could do it, and I always put in the work, and it got me here. So that's kind of all the advice I can give to them.
That's awesome. I like too that you said earlier, like you're kind of like a sponge when you're seeing people, like as you're going and watching them too. So you're still learning, which is cool. It's not like you think you know everything, because I think that's
Oh
key.
yeah,
That's absolutely key. So, so what do you hope will happen out of this season? What do you think?
I just number one goal for me is to stay healthy and
Yeah.
make every start. And
Yeah.
if I can do that, I think I'm in a good position.
Awesome. Very
Like I said, if I prepare the right way, I just leave it up to the
yeah.
big man. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. That's good.
Do you have to? Is this like a tryout for the real team? The spring training, is that what we would equate it to?
yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. They'll do cuts for big league spring training. I'm not sure how often it is, but I would probably say like every 2 weeks maybe. And so they'll trim the fat of the roster and try and put together their roster they're going to break into the season with. But for me, I feel like it's good because I'm gonna get introduced with everyone up there so that God willing I get up there sometime in the middle of the season. I'm already comfortable and I know the guys and I know how things operate. So
Right. So even if you don't make it right during spring training, they could call you up at any time. Then, if they liked what they saw.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yep.
All right.
That's cool. That is very cool. So let me ask you this: have you seen somebody that, like, obviously there's a lot of guys, a lot of different people have their input on who's coming up. Is there a guy or a couple guys maybe that are on your level or lower even that you're like, man, I wish they got a chance to go to spring training, or what are they thinking? This guy's throwing this way or batting average is like this, and
He's not going to say
yeah,
that.
well, that's what I mean. I mean, it's a team still, right? Have you had that you see that a lot, and it's a variable, or is it more pretty consistent with what you think?
No, there's like we talked about before. It's so competitive, and
Yeah,
there's tons of guys that I'm friends with and in the organization that definitely have the talent and deserve to be up there.
yeah,
They just maybe it's not their time or maybe they need a little more work, but I have a ton of belief in a lot of my friends that they can be up there in the same spot, and I've seen it from like guys in my draft. Like in my draft, there's two pitchers that are starting pitchers now for the big league team, Bryce Miller and Brian Wu, and it's like
awesome.
it's just cool because everyone's time is different, and
Hmm.
if we stay ready, who knows, we could be right where they are, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very cool. So, I'll ask you a couple of questions now about living here in upstate New York, because most of the people that listen to this are going to be in upstate New York. They're not probably going to be out where you are. But so what was one of your favorite memories being here besides the Nellis Farm, or at the Nellis Farm, even like doing something there? What was one of your best memories here?
That's tough because
It was all good. It was all good.
Or
literally
or
every
your best food. The
Yeah,
food you liked the best that was
oh
up here.
that's a good one too.
honestly, I would if Mama Nellis cooked for me anytime, I would
Hmm.
destroy it every time. She's a great cook, and she's also so creative with her like farmhouse,
Yes.
recipes.
Yep. Yep.
So, so I can't put my finger. There's a couple stories I could tell at a later date that are really amazing. But
We want those stories. We need the dirt. You got something on Keegan. I know you do.
Oh, of course. Keegan's one of my best friends.
He's like waiting with anticipation of what you're going to say now as he's listening. So, but well, it's cool that you have that bond even with Keegan too and stuff. And Keegan's coaching now, I believe, at this point, right, at Herkimer and stuff. So, and you know, you got the backing of it. It's kind of cool, the Diamond Dog organization as a whole. Everybody's kind of backing you, and even if they didn't play with you, it's just like it's really cool to see where you've been and where you go and all of that. So it's nice to hear and see what you've been up to. And I think, Dave, do you have another question maybe?
No,
or?
no.
Okay.
I'm just looking around.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure. He looked like he was getting ready to ask a big question here.
No.
But, and you did the documentary, right, with Dave, with the Nellises too? Or you
No.
never? Oh, he didn't?
No, he didn't. He put a message on at the end.
Okay. Yeah.
For the Nellis family.
You were probably pretty busy at that time, right? Because that was about the same time.
There's so much going on.
Yeah.
I was just getting introduced to pro ball.
Yeah.
But that was really special. I was up to date with it, and I watched it and everything. That was special.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Worked out well.
Well, you have an experience. I guess most of those guys that you're with right now probably never had living on a farm and saying, "Mom, drive a little. Let me just think and then come back to it." So, well, that's awesome. So, you think you'll make a trip upstate, or probably not? You only got a couple weeks off, right? Or maybe to see Keegan, or.
I have been up a couple times since I stopped playing. Obviously, I said goodbye to Mr. Nellis for the last time, which was really tough.
I'm sure.
And I kind of had a feeling it would be the last time, but sorry to get all negative, but
that's all right.
That was special to me. And anytime I can get up there, I like to get up there. And even if I can't, like me and Keegan met up over the break and we went to the city together, and we ended up going, like, walking all around New York City, and it was just a great day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Really cool. Well, yeah, and that's a special bond you have here too, and I don't think it's going away. So kudos to Coach Blake on that one, right?
Yeah.
That's neat.
Blake's the man.
Yeah, he is. We love Blake Nation.
He's done so much for me. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So, do you have any inspiration, like people that you kind of looked up to over the course of getting here, and even earlier coaches and stuff like?
Yeah. But there's, I got a lot of inspirations, but they're all deep down inside me from when I was a kid. So
that's good. That's very, very good. Well, it's so nice to talk to you and hear what's been going on with you and everything. And we wish you all the best into spring training. Stay healthy all season too. And you got some fans, I would say, here in upstate New York for sure.
There's a lot of Mariners fans here. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
We put them down as often as we can, but they're here.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much again, Jimmy, for being on, and I guess we'll end the podcast here. So I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Thank you, and thank you for the Diamond Dogs community, who's extremely supportful.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you, guys.